welcome back everybody. So today we're going to have the first tasting of my Pale Ale / IPA Chinook Wet Hop ×2 beer. Now I made the same batch using wet hops, which are just hops pulled straight off the vine, put in the kettle. That's considered a wet hop. I did make two versions, one using a lower amount of hops than one using more hops. Now, as I said, this is the ×2, so I doubled the original recipe. I will have a side-by-side just so we can see, but pretty straightforward. 2 pounds of raw Pilsner malt, 2 malt, 2.4 ounces of caramel malt 40L, so crystal 40. Then for the hop, this is an hour boil. 0.5 ounces of Chinook at 60, 0.5 ounces at 30, 0.5 ounces at 15, then 1 ounce at flame out. Now, I can say that when you're using wet hops or even dry cone hops, you're going to have to add more water to your boil or your sparge, whatever you want. You're gonna have to put more in there because those hops are gonna soak it up. And I think I kind of saw it on this. I didn't write anything down, but my gravity was 1043, which Beersmith wanted 1053. So if anything, maybe I added too much. You know, I had too much water there, because the more water you would have, you would dilute it, so then your gravity would fall, so it would be less. So that's the only thing I can think of here, but like I said, I used the same grain bill in this one and the other one, and this one came out to be 4.12%, where the other one was 5.3 or 5.25%, something like that. So this one is a little bit lower, and I have a feeling I added a lot more water to this one than I did the other one. Now, it could be that even though I used less hops in the other one, that still, because of all those cone hops, that it was less. I'm back. So my wort was less, but I would think that would be closer than this one would have been overdone, because I have been making these over the years, and I've learned, okay, if you're gonna do wet hop beers, that's gonna absorb a lot of the liquid. You're gonna have to use more. So yeah, like I said, this one did finish at 4.12%. Now, from a standpoint of style, to me this would be considered a pale ale, but I think with using all these hops, that this one could actually be a balanced one, even though if you think, okay, 4.12, that's going to be a pale ale, what's it going to taste like with all those hops? But we have to remember, they are wet hops. You're going to have to use a ton more, and from what I've been hearing, in between 4-to-1 ratio or 6-to-1 ratio. So we'll have to see what this one tastes like next to the other one, but let's go ahead and get into this one. Okay, hiss. Okay, smoke. 4 small pearl carbonation tablets were used. So if you watched the standard version of this, my guess is we're going to get the same color. We have a lot of stuff floating in there. This one has a better head, and I'm not sure why. That's weird. Less alcohol gives us more head. That shouldn't be. Yeah, off-white, tannish colored, small and medium bubbles, about a half a finger on there. I do have a lot of trub floating in there. This could be like the last one I bottled, since I bottled directly out of the fermenter. Now, I do know that sometimes once the yeast is done and it does settle, it does go up into that spout. And I've seen on a couple of them, when I open the spout, it's like white. And it could be, but I'm guessing this looks like it would be the last one with how much is in there. But orangish in color, more caramel orange up here with yellow down there. Let's go ahead and smell. More spice, like a citrus spice. Yeah, like a citrus spice with a sweet caramel and back, but I can really smell that citrus spice in here. Let's go ahead and taste. Very smooth. I get more spice than I do citrus, but that citrus is there. This seems a better balance. Like, I still get some of that malt, but it's not as sweet, and I think it's because of that citrus spice is really cutting through that. So taking it down, and I wasn't sure if why. I mean, our post boil gravity was lower. I was actually thinking it was going to be a lot sweeter than it is. So I guess that would just show me that maybe this was over 1.25 gallons going into the carboy, because it does seem like it's balanced for a pale ale. But I think the tastes that are coming out of this are more IPA than pale ale, if I had to say. But yeah, definitely more spice. I mean, even in the aftertaste, there's spice there. There's a little maltiness there. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was bitterness, but it's not hitting me here. It's just like coating my mouth. So that would make me think it's the spice from the Chinook, which you should get. Where the bitterness is usually in the back of the throat if it's a big bitterness, and I'm not getting that. Very easy drinking, very smooth, pretty light, except for that spice. I think if anything, maybe instead of 1 ounce at Flame Out, the 0.5 would have been better if you don't like that spice. I mean, it's almost like this is a rye IPA on a light rye IPA, let's say. Because it reminds me of all those rye IPAs that I made without the rye in there. Yeah, good beer. Now, is this one I would make? I think if I was going to make it again, I would do 0.5 ounces at Flame Out instead of an ounce to see, because I still think you want a little bit of that sweet caramel in there, at least I do, because if you're using it, you kind of want that in there, and I think by maybe going down to half an ounce, I think maybe that sweetness would come back. And also getting that post-boil gravity up to the correct one and moving the ABV up some would help this. But yeah, good beer. I'll drink on it for a little bit. So if you enjoyed this video, check out some more over here. And until next time, happy brewing.